Okay. Hope we have everybody in. Oh, yeah. Everybody's alive and awake. Glad to hear that. And I want to welcome you all again to this place, you know. And in being in this place, it's important to remind you that there is an infinite power available to everyone. It's there for each who seek it, no matter their race, no matter their gender, no matter what you may believe. You should know that this source, this universal source, the source of all things, is also the source of each of us. So what that means is that the principle supporting the stars is the principle supporting and available to each and every one of us. And as I declare this statement in the first person, I do declare it for all. I am open and receptive to this divine living principle. Mother, Father, God, I am grateful. This is my declaration. This is my truth. And I know that as I accept it, so it becomes, and all is well and well indeed. For some of you, I want to welcome you back, and some I want to welcome you to this place, this practical spiritual living exercise that's brought to you by Unity of Chicago South, the Beyond Walls New Thought spiritual community. I'm Reverend R. Ken, and I act as your guide as we continue this journey from theory to expression. Hmm. You know, over the past several weeks, we have explored faith, love, and power. And today, we turn our attention to another spiritual principle, understanding. Not simply information, not merely knowledge, but understanding. Understanding, the ability to see clearly, the ability to perceive beyond appearances, the ability to respond from wisdom rather than reaction. Get wisdom, get understanding, Proverbs. Understanding is the knowing faculty of the mind, Charles Fillmore. We live in a time where information is abundant. Many channels, news channels and cable channels bringing us information. Yet understanding often remains sacred. I would say that a lack of understanding has put us where we are today in this country. Most of us have experienced moments, though, moments when we knew many facts, yet still lacked clarity. And we have experienced moments when one insight changed everything. Knowledge gathers information. Understanding discovers meaning. Knowledge tells us what happened. Understanding helps us see why it matters. And you might ask, well, what is understanding? Charles Fillmore described it this way, saying that understanding is one of the spiritual faculties, not merely intellectual ability, but spiritual discernment, the capacity to see beneath the surface. You know, many conflicts arise not because people lack information, but because they lack understanding the straits of our moves. We assume, we interpret, we react, we rush to conclusions. Or is that just me? But understanding invites us to slow it down long enough that we can see more clearly. In Buddhist teachings, wisdom often begins with seeing things as they are rather than as we wish them to be. That sounds remarkably close to what Fillmore is describing. Understanding requires honesty, not only about the world, but about ourselves. Understanding creates a space between the experience and the reaction. And in that space, new possibilities emerge. Consider how often we react to our first interpretation. Or is that just me? Someone says something happens, a situation unfolds, and almost immediately our mind creates a story. But what if the story is incomplete? What if there is more to the situation than we currently see? I've tried to calm myself in driving. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And one of the little games that I will play when someone runs the light or goes into the turn lane and then jets out in front of everyone, I say to myself sometimes, wow, they must really have to go to the restroom. You see, there's more to it possibly than just being ignorant and unconcerned about the safety of others. So we sometimes can play a game with ourselves just to calm ourselves down because that pause allows us to see other possibilities. See, understanding seeks something different than just the reaction. Understanding seeks what else might be true. They really might need to go to the restroom. What am I missing? What assumptions have I made? A writer wrote, we do not see things as they are. We see them as we are. Perhaps that is one of the greatest challenges of understanding. Knowing the fact that we do not arrive at a situation empty. We bring our history, we bring our wounds, we bring our hopes, we bring our expectations and our fears. But understanding requires us to become aware of the lenses through which we view life. They might just need to go to the restroom. See, understanding may look different than we expect. It may look like I listen before I respond. I ask before I assume. That's a big one for me. I'm seeking clarity before I judge. I pause before I make a decision. Sometimes the most spiritual thing we can do is to just take another look. Simply take another look at the situation. Howard Thurman wrote, look well to the growing edge. The growing edge. See, the growing edge is often found just beyond our own certainty, just beyond our assumptions, just beyond what we think we already know. Wow, we've come to a point that we set aside not to simply just listen, but hopefully engage in conversation, explore together. And those of you that might be on social media, let me explain how this works. If you're on social media, we can see some of the comments sometimes, but not in live time, you see, not in live time. So we encourage you to come over to our platform, to the team's platform, so that we can provide you with the opportunity to share your voice, not just a comment, but your voice. And with that, we say, how can you do it? And we have a number that you can call. Not now, it's a little late now. There's a number that you can call during the course of a week. You text, actually, more so than call. But during the course of a week, if you text, you will get a response back. And that response will allow you to receive the link so that you can participate in the conversation. Because see, this service is a little different than sitting in church and listening to the minister. This is a service where we interact. That's designed for us to interact, to learn and share with our experiences. And I have that number for you right there. If you text connect to 564-234-2890, you will receive a message back with the link so that you can participate in upcoming services, celebrations. Then again, there's the text number. Text connect anytime during the week, and you will get the link so you can join us on Sunday live. Wouldn't that be great? Join us on Sunday live. Yeah. So if you're on any of the other social platforms, Facebook, YouTube, what's the other one? Twitch, anything like that, I encourage you to come on over on Sundays for this part and also for the part that follows. And now with some of the questions that we have today, and they're explorations, you know what I'm saying? They're not questions that you have to sit around and say, oh boy, that's a heavy one. It's easy. And because many of you are on the social platforms not here, I want to give you the question. I want to give it to you so that you can ponder it, write it down, even if you would like. Today's first question of sharing, opportunity to share. Can you see that? Can you think of a time when additional understanding completely changed your perspective? Let's just pause on that for a moment. You may have something you would like to contribute and say, man, I wish I was over there on the platform so I could do that. I know that I have had that experience where just by understanding the situation, it changed my perspective of it. Just with a little more understanding. Oh, that's why you did that. Oh yeah, I understand now. That okay, yeah. Has that ever happened to you? Where you get a little understanding and the whole perspective changes. Your whole perspective changes. You can write that down and think about it during the course of the week. even later on today. You know, we're moving on. And now the second sharing I'd like to go along and share, give to you, so to speak, is this particular sharing question. What tends to interfere with understanding? Emotion, assumptions, or impatience? Now, there are those that would say, for me, it's impatience. I sometimes agree and sometimes disagree. But for you, ponder that. What is it that stands in your way of expanding your understanding of a situation? What might it be? Give it some thought. Hmm. As they used to say in school, talk among yourselves. And our final pondering for today is, where in your life might greater understanding be needed? Not tomorrow, but right now. But right now. Just let that rest. And it's not a panacea. Understanding is not a panacea. Not at all. Understanding does not always change the facts, but it often changes our relationship with them. And sometimes that change in relationship becomes the beginning of transformation. Rumi wrote, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Whether we interpret that literally or poetically, it points towards something important. Understanding often expands when we move beyond immediate judgment. When we become willing to see more, to listen more, to learn more. And you know, another practice that we have here is something we call soul inquiry. What the soul inquiry is, it's a question that we pose to ourselves, our inner soul, and we allow the soul to answer in its own time. What does that mean? Well, I might not get an answer right now today, and then I might, but I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to make it happen. I'm going to allow it to happen. And we have two inquiries that you can choose from today. Why am I becoming more open to deeper understanding? That's the soul inquiry. Why am I becoming more open, more accepting to deeper understanding? And then just let it rest. Don't try to answer it. Leave it alone. Allow it to grow. Allow it to germinate. Allow it to manifest on its own. And the second soul inquiry is, why am I learning to see beyond appearances and recognize greater truth? Why am I coming into my own to be able to see beyond experiences, appearances, and recognize greater truth? Allow it to rest. Both inquiries or one, whichever works for you, but allow it to rest. Allow it to calm itself, to settle, knowing that an answer will come. It's kind of part of the way we're made up. Faith helps us to continue in the struggle, in the challenge, in the experience. Love helps us remain connected to that soul, to that allness, to that greatness bigger than ourselves. And power helps us direct our lives consciously. Understanding helps us see clearly. And next week, we conclude this series, Living the Principles, with the spiritual principle of will, the principle of commitment, consistency, and spiritual direction. I want to thank you for being with us today, wherever you are, and let you know that we're going to take a brief break, short break, before continuing with what we call Sunday conversations. If you're able, I invite you to stay with us, but we understand life continues. And if you are, take a few minutes to stretch, grab some water or coffee, and then join us as we continue our healing in practice series. Today we'll be exploring healing through the teachings of Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science. Again, thank you so much. Those that are staying, we'll see you in a few. And those that happen to be on social media platforms that need to move on, we understand. Hope to see you next time. And those that can stay again, the same for you. Take a break, take a moment, and come on back, because we are extending Sunday conversation to the various social platforms, and we'll continue to do that for maybe another week or so before you have to be on our platform in order to participate, because this is about Sunday conversation. We'll see you in a few.
See you. We see you.
You do?
We see you ducking and weaving and changing stuff. And
Okay. Hey, until you get proficient at it.
why we don't have no music?
I just didn't. I was happy to get the sound together. I
Yeah,
thought about
I
that
saw that.
at the last minute. I got that. I was like, oh yeah, we need to have a little pause in between. But next time I'll do.
I like the you putting the number up.
Yeah, I did that. That was something I did today too. Be able to put the number up.
Yeah.
For them to text. We got to keep pushing because we got to grow the audience. I mean, we got, what is this? June? I don't know. Maybe August. Maybe September. We got to have an audience by then. This doesn't make. Well, I got to keep doing it because that's part of it. That's part of the whole hookup.
Mm.
Yeah.
I gotta see. Why is they keep calling? Oh, look at you.
Hey, you know, I listen, baby. I listen. I told you I'd be listening.
Oh, look at you.
I told you I'd be listening. You don't think I listen, but I do.
No, you don't. You don't. You don't. You got to give me. Just you said, call ended. I'm not gonna touch. Wait, running now. I gotta wait for you to connect me. Uh,
Mm.
is it wiping you out so far?
No, it's probably just, been up since 6, that's all. No food. Awake since 6:30, no food. And then I dropped whatever little energy I had, I dropped it out.
The cookies ain't up there. The breakfast cookies.
I think it might be one left. Did you eat it or did I?
No, what's that?
Yes. There's actually one left. Thanks for reminding me.
Want my tea?
No, man. I don't. I definitely. No tea. I just use this. I don't want any tea, but thank you. Since I'll be posting every day for a while, we'll see if that helps.
Open the front door. Feel that air. You know I always keep that.
Yeah, like you say, it's not as hot as I thought. I thought it was hot because
How would we get a open it back up? How would we get a screen door? Could we?
I don't know. With those gates up there, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
So we probably have to get that mesh thing.
Like Ted had.
And lock the open the door, put the mesh thing, and pull the gate.
Gate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then that mesh thing wasn't that much.
Okay.
And I don't even know if he still got his. He might have threw it away because the dog was scared of it. Then, but he can't use it now because he don't have no porch.
We can open the windows. No, we said there's no screen, didn't we? Yeah. There's no screen.
But you got to be able to have. I think next time the cookies have to be in the refrigerator, don't they?
I don't know.
The center is warm and it should be like a cookie. And that's a healthy cookie. What's that? Almond coconut butter?
I didn't do all of it.
Yeah, it's coconut butter. Yeah, it's not rare. It's coconut.
Okay.
The other one is almond butter. It's really good.
Okay.
How many minutes you get? You got an alarm set?
I'll just go back when I go back. That's why I didn't put 5 minutes up there. I'm gonna go back in 5, but I didn't put. You see the receipt?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I ain't gonna.
What?
Nothing. I just said okay.
Okay, let you go.
I said okay. I ain't gonna get too comfortable.
You gotta click me back in. But
Okay.
did you hear me when I said it?
Can't hear me. Which is good. That means I could hear you. You couldn't hear me. That's what we want. Then we want to be able to hear back and forth. That's what I'm saying. It's good to know it works.
Did you buy orange juice?
I like the other juice.
Oh, you bought the other juice? You want to drink some juice?
No, this is sweet enough. It's sweet enough.
That's what I did.
Drink some water. I got in there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we are back. I know. Let's get an audio going. There we go. That was a nice break. I had a little water. Hope you had some coffee or water or juice or whatever. If you're still with us, a little more water. This week, Sunday Conversations, we're looking at Ernest Holmes. And Ernest Holmes' teachings center around healing through consciousness. Healing through consciousness. I want to welcome you back to Sunday Conversations. And those of you that might be on social platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and such, it's so important. The concept of this is conversation, which is not something that we can have if you're not on the platform. So I encourage you to text us in, and let me give you that number again, where you can text, and there you go. You can text during the course of the week again, not today, not right now, but you can text during the course of the week, and we'll make sure you get a link out. We send out a reminder usually once a week. That's usually on Sunday, actually, to remind you that, you know, this is going on. So if you text Connect, you'll get an answer back with a link that'll help you become a part of conversation. Let's build this thing together, you know? Again, last week it was about Charles Fillmore and the powerful idea from Charles Fillmore as healing is not becoming whole, but healing is recognizing that the wholeness is already present. And today we kind of continue our exploration through the teachings of Ernest Holmes. Another thing I want to remind you about this series, this Sunday Conversations that follows our celebration, is the fact that this is a 5 week session or 5 sessions in this particular focus, and the focus is on spiritual healing. I believe the next series is on forgiveness. Not sure. Um, but anyway, this is week 2 of a 5 week series. Okay. And today, again, Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science and science of mind. Holmes, what he does is invites us to consider a question that is simple, but yet is profound. Can a change in consciousness influence a change in experience? Can a change in consciousness influence a change in experience? So we want to ponder that just for a second, but as we get into this conversation, let's just pause and be still for a moment with that question on our hearts. Mhm. Let's just breathe and release and come into this quiet space within. Life is a mirror and reflects back to the thinker what the think is. What? Yeah, I know. It reflects back to the thinker what the thinker thinks into it. So it's a mirror that reflects back to me the thoughts that I hold. That's life. That's life. The law of mind is the law of belief. Ernest Holmes again. Many people hear statements like these and immediately wonder, does Holmes mean, and I can go even further than Holmes, but in New Thought, the practice of New Thought itself, does it mean that every challenge is caused by my thinking? And when we come into this practice, many times that's what we think we hear. Am I to blame for everything that happens? That's what we think we hear. That's not the conversation that we're having today. You see, Holmes was not interested in blame. Holmes was interested in possibility. He taught that while we may not control every circumstance, we do have influence over the consciousness through which we meet the circumstances. It happened to me, but how am I going to respond to it? And let's understand something. Consciousness matters. One of Holmes' central teachings is that consciousness is creative. I want you to hold that for a second. Consciousness is creative. That's a powerful statement. That's a lot of energy. Consciousness creates our life. Not merely thought, consciousness, the atmosphere of the mind in which we live, the beliefs we repeatedly accept, the assumptions that we carry, the stories we tell ourselves, the expectations we hold. All of these contribute to build what is called consciousness. And Holmes suggests that life often reflects those patterns back to us. That is the mirror. That is what we think into it that comes back. But it's not punishment. It's not a reward. It's just a response. Think that through. Healing begins when consciousness begins to change. Healing begins when consciousness begins to change. Now, the outer may not change immediately. The conditions may seem like they have always been, but the relationship we have to the condition can begin changing right away. And often that's the shift that's necessary for the healing process to begin. I don't know. Maybe. There's a simple, basic example that you'll find in pretty much all the New Thought practices. And it doesn't matter what your practice may or may not be. If you think on this, it probably is going to make sense. You have two people facing the same thing. One sees the limitations involved, the other one sees the possibility. Circumstances could be identical, but the experience is different. And the question becomes why? Because consciousness differs. Holmes believed that what we consciously dwell upon tends to grow in influence within our experience. And let me say something right here. This is so very important because we come into New Thought and we're taught affirmations and denials and affirmations and denials. And that's important. But how much energy are we putting in the denials? Because when we do that, we're giving our thought energy, that creative power, into the denial. And we are growing the situation. I deny that I'm this, I deny that I'm this, and you're just constantly focusing on it. Give it a big hit, I deny, and then stay with the affirmations. And understand that these affirmations, denials, are not magical. They don't create everything, change everything. But the fact is that it's our attention, it is our belief, it is our expectations that affect how we engage in life. Howard Thurman once wrote, "Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve." Wow. If you think about it, that sounds very close to Holmes. Both are speaking about the importance of maintaining a consciousness that supports growth rather than defeat. And Viktor Frankl reminds us, between stimulus and response, there's a space. Between what happens, the stimulus, and our response, there is a space. And in that space, that important space, lies freedom. And that freedom is where consciousness can begin to shift. Wow. Give that some thought. That pause. You know, it said there would not be any music. It would just be noise if there weren't for the pauses. Healing comes through consciousness. And it may look very different. It may look like choosing possibilities over resignation, choosing gratitude over bitterness, choosing curiosity over fear, choosing response rather than reaction. Now, the fact of the matter is that none of these choices deny reality. None of these choices deny reality. Another falsehood when we move into New Thought, into this metaphysical practice: deny, deny, deny. It is, it is, it is. But what do I do with the is, it is, it is? And that's where the consciousness comes in, that Holmes is teaching, that Holmes taught, that's part of the religious science practice, that is part of metaphysical practice. It's not that they say, no. It's saying that, hey, that situation, I refuse to surrender my creative participation in life for that situation. Now, right here is when we remind the ones that are on the various channels, that social channels, social platforms, that this is called Sunday Conversation. And we invite you to join us on our team platform so you can be a part of and grow this conversation, that you can contribute to it in real time. And I want to give you that number one more time, if I can find it for you. There you go. Okay. Again, text that number 564 234 2890 anytime during the course of the week, even after this. If you text, you're going to get a link to how you can join Sunday conversations. And your participation is important because that's what makes it a conversation. That's what makes it a conversation. But right now, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas that you can share among yourselves, with your family, with your friends, or with your inner soul. Can you share a time with yourself? Think on this. When a change in your thinking changed Hmm. Okay, hopefully I jumped. What beliefs or assumptions have the most influence on your life experience? Hmm. What belief impacts my life the most? Hmm. What belief? Boy, I love to hear some of the people on Facebook what they're saying right now. What belief it, affects their life the most? Wow, wow. Hmm. I want to take a moment now to just ponder this. It's nothing to solve, not anything to dissolve, to resolve, but just again to ask yourself what we call these soul inquiries. What consciousness am I bringing to a situation? Fear, hope, resentment, possibility, control, trust. And then without judgment, just notice. And then as you notice, ask yourself this: what would a healing consciousness look like in this situation? Mm, yeah, wow. But it's that pause again. It's that pause. It's the pause that we have the opportunity to see the possibility. We have the opportunity to change. And I want to end today's Sunday conversation with this soul inquiry, meaning take this, put it in, ask your soul, and leave it alone. Don't touch it. Allow it to germinate and allow the answer to come back through you to you. And the question that you asked yourself, excuse me, that you asked yourself, why am I becoming more aware of the healing power of consciousness? Why am I becoming more aware of the healing power of consciousness? Let it rest. Don't try to answer it. And if you're game enough, pose the second question to yourself and allow it to germinate and come back through you with an answer. Why am I learning to see possibilities where I once saw limitations? Oh, such a beautiful question to ask the soul. Allow it to rest, and the answer comes back to you. But the answer comes in a change in consciousness. That's what you'll see. Well, today's conversation was steered by the teachings of Ernest Holmes. And Holmes reminds us that healing begins not merely with changing conditions. I need to move and I'll be in a better position. It begins with changing consciousness. I'm in a better position right now. But the things look the same, Reverend. Nothing's changed. I don't see any difference. Yeah, I understand. It's coming because I'm going into a new consciousness. And that consciousness will change and bring forth new possibilities, give the opportunity for new possibilities to emerge. I want to tell you, thank you. Thank you for sharing this exploration, no matter where you are. Encourage you again to check that number out, right? And call or text. I keep saying call, but text, connect so you can get your link and be a part of this and drive it forward. Next week, oh, my favorite of favorites. We continue with Emma Curtis Hopkins, the teacher of teachers. And we're going to look at her perspective on the role of spiritual realization in healing. Can't wait. Until then, you may become increasingly aware because you're putting yourself in a position to allow the soul to guide you. And as you become increasingly aware, you'll become increasingly aware of the power of your consciousness. And as that happens, you have an opportunity to expand the possibilities in your life because that's what consciousness can do. Until next time, namaste.